Today's edition on Alice's Lies, we will be discussing her floors. She has told so many lies that she cannot even keep them straight herself. Let's dive in. I would first like to point out that Alice tore up her floors prior to even picking what flooring she wanted to put down. Alice simply decided one day she wanted to rip up the carpet and did so without any thought. Alice does not hold anybody accountable for her errors. It's either the builder's fault, Caleb's fault, anybody's fault except for Alice's. She simply just cannot be to blame. She left a hazard where Fern may have gotten injured and did not care. She left her floors like this for over 2 months. Instead of her tending to her children's obvious delays, Sage not being able to sit up or crawl, Fern not being able to speak at nearly 3 years old, she dove into yet another project. Leaving her floors like this was not a decision a good parent would make. Alice is not a good parent. She only cares about herself. On May 28th, Alice claimed that she had been separated from Caleb for 2 months. This would bring us to late March. If this was the case, Caleb simply could not be to blame for the flooring, as he wouldn't have even been in the home at this time. But of course, we all know she's lying, and Caleb was in fact in the home. On April 25th, she posted 2 weeks later, and the living room is 25% done. That would mean she started the floors on April 11th. Here you can see just how shitty of a job she has already done. You can see how much grout she had added, and this was likely 100% on her. Here you can see that Caleb was working on the floors. I would like to point out it's in a completely different area than she was showing where she had to rip up because he did a bad job. I would also like to point out that the floors here don't look like there's an excess amount of grout. This also calls attention that Caleb was clearly present when the flooring was being done. This also shows Alice was lying about being separated for 2 months, as he was clearly working on the floors and in the home at this time. And again, she's blaming Caleb for the flooring, so he was clearly in the picture and they were not separated for 2 months. And this again goes to the accountability of Alice. It is far more likely that Alice worked on these floors herself than Caleb did. She brags about being the DIY queen until something goes wrong. Then it's not her fault. It could never be her fault. It's anyone's fault but hers. Caleb is the easy person to blame. Alice would never take accountability or admit that she did a poor job on the floors herself. And here are some more lies. This was posted on June 19th. She is claiming it only took her 1 month to install the tile. However, we saw the date. It was April 11th. It took her 2 months, and likely the only reason why she had finished the floor was due to the playdate that we had never seen happen. It's also likely she did this to avoid parenting her children. Alice has shown little interest in being a parent. She ignores her children's needs and does not give them the medical attention they need. Here is the zoomed-in area that Caleb supposedly did. I wanted to show this as the video she posted 2 weeks into the project looks eerily similar to this area, and Alice did not care that that's what the floors look like. It's very possible that she's the one in reality who did this to the floors. Again, Alice does not take accountability for her actions. She blames anyone she can instead of saying she is the failure. Here's the area zoomed in. It looks almost identical. There is some changes, and it is possible it is a completely different area. However, it is more likely that Alice destroyed the floors and she just doesn't want to admit it. Alice does rush jobs just to get things done because she gets bored of projects and wants to move on to the next thing. When Alice was about 1/4 of the way down her floor, she posted this. Alice rushed into the floors without even thinking about what she really wanted, and then wanted to spend even more money on what she wanted. Alice did such a poor job on the floors. You can see it here. I zoomed in for you. Alice rushes through her renovation job. And when something does not turn out the way she planned, it's not her fault. It's always somebody else's. Alice is impulsive and just does what she wants to do 95% of the time. One final note. When Alice posted she wanted the white floors, somebody told her they were going to be extremely slippery. She responded that she was looking forward to this. What kind of parent looks forward to having slippery floors with 2 young children? Alice has little regard for her own children. She is a liar, and she is 100% to blame for how terrible her floors look. Alice lies about everything and holds no accountability to herself.